We are waiting on the arrival of Freeway Ricky Ross to tap to chime in. And he's in. Let me get him on here, y'all. Let me get him on here. What's
What
going
up,
on?
nephew?
How are you, man?
Man, I'm gonna tell you, man. One side of me is crying right now.
Why is that?
We don't know how many black people we done lost,
Yeah, that's sad.
but we know the number's gonna be high.
Yeah,
Uh,
it is very sad.
we being affected higher than any other group by this coronavirus.
But I think you know what. First of all, salute to everybody that's on the check-in, man. We are on the check-in with one of my favorite people in the world, man. My Aunt Freeway Ricky Ross, man, the real Rick Ross. Y'all make sure y'all go grab this book. Y'all make sure y'all go grab this book. And listen, this is what I want people to understand, man. Like when you came to Atlanta, you was like, nephew, here, take the book. And I told you, I said, no, I'm going to buy it. Because you know why? That's what we don't do enough of. We don't patronize our folk. They think people call support just showing up somewhere. No. It don't matter if it's a show. It don't matter if it's a book. It don't matter if you were selling socks. That's not support. Support is patronizing. So salute for this book, man. I definitely appreciate you. And I would that everybody else would grab this book because it's very in detail about this man's life. But my first question is, man, if people want to know, how did you come up with the name Freeway Rick Ross? How did that come about?
Well, my mama named me Rick Ross. Yeah, that's on my birth certificate. The freeway came from when I started stealing cars. When I first started stealing cars, I didn't have enough money to get no garage, so we just stripped them right on the side of the freeway.
Mm-hmm.
So they started calling us the Freeway Boys, and it just grew from there to what it became.
So how do you feel about your name and your likeliness being used or portrayed in hip hop? How do you feel about that?
With some it's cool and some ain't so cool. You know. Right now, you know, my main focus, man, is on this virus that's going around right now. You know, that has put all my other ventures on kind of like a back burner. I still do some other things, but this virus is so serious that has become my main focus in life, is to figure out how can I protect my people.
How has the COVID-19 virus affected you or affected your finances or family? Period.
Well, I was getting ready to sign probably one of the biggest weed deals ever. You know, so my financial woes would have been over. You know, I like to go out doing my speaking engagements, my club appearances, you know. I sold most of my books hand in hand.
Right. I know that for a fact. You did. State to state with a suitcase.
This grapefruit juice too. Just so
What?
everybody know, it's grapefruit juice.
Grapefruit juice.
Yeah. Ain't no lean in it. Ain't no. And none of that. None of that. Ain't none of that in it. It's just pure orange grapefruit juice.
So so what are you working on now? As far I heard you say something about you was more focused on the virus that's going on. What are you working on as far as preparing to help out or what have you with the virus with our people right now?
Well, I'm trying to be the one to come up with the cure. That's what I'm looking for right now, is the cure for it or
Do you
treatment.
Do you think that you know, from your opinion, do you think that a lot of it is going on as far as with our culture because we hard headed?
Yeah, that plays a part. You know, we fast to listen to the wrong people.
Mm.
You know, I'm a victim of that myself. You know, plenty of times I listen to the wrong person. You know, tell me, and I go do what he say do, and it was the wrong thing to do.
Right.
Got me in trouble.
Right.
Some shit I didn't know how I was gonna get out of.
Right. Right. Facts. Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, damn, how I get into this one?
Facts. Facts.
What the? You know, what the? I done pin myself up like this. And that's what we all should be saying as a world right now. You know, because had that pandemic been handled the proper way, China would have got help from America. As soon as they found out about it, we'd have been over there. Oh, send our best doctors, send our best nurses, send our best scientists. Send them extra supplies. Close down all the airports, all travel right now. Nobody move.
That's what should have happened.
They would have called that preventative health care. You know what I'm saying? But we didn't handle it like that.
Right.
We handled as divide, division, misinformation, lies, falsehoods.
And I think a lot of people, man, just didn't take it serious too. They think it was just a hoax. You know what I'm saying?
Because you don't know who to believe.
Exactly. That's fact.
Me, even though I ain't got a high school diploma, couldn't read till I was 28 years old, I started liking science at an older age. I found out that science might just be the answer.
Facts.
Take that shit, look at it, try to figure it out. Science. But if you ain't using science, then you using hocus pocus. Who wants to be using hocus pocus? I don't know. Some people do. I don't.
Especially when you're dealing with lives. I don't see how anybody would want to use hocus pocus, man, at all. The people want to know too, man. How do you feel about that series Snowfall, man? And because I know it related, everything was about you. How do you feel personally about that?
Ripped off. Jacked. But not just me, but the whole public. Because again, they lied to you. When they could have told you the truth. They knew who the truth was. They knew. Why not use the truth? Oh, a lie sounds much better.
How was they able to go around and like scapegoat around you to be able to profit monetarily off of that?
Well, it's complicated, you know, with the law. And in order to sue them, it takes a lot of money. You know, I ain't homeless, but you know, I ain't rich either. So I had to make a decision. You know, I went through one lawsuit already with one of those Gonzillas. No, I took on 3 of them at one time.
Right.
I was tripping. Hey, they had 15 lawyers in the courtroom. I got my little lawyer right. He barely paying his rent. Like me, I wasn't. But when you take on them fights, you gotta be ready.
Facts.
And you gotta be ready to be humiliated. Because you just might get humiliated. They might rub the fact that you tried to defend yourself being totally right, but you lost in your face. But that ain't what you worried about.
Right.
See, my fight is bigger than that. I did Vlad on the 17th of March. I told everybody it was rumors going on. Oh, it don't affect blacks. I'm like, I'm talking to the doctors. They telling me it's gonna run you over. They telling me that it love you. That's what I said on go watch the doc. I saw it because I'm dealing with science. I'm not dealing with I heard through the grapevine, no background. See, I know when I deal with people, I want to know some background on you now.
Right.
When I so dope, I didn't care if I didn't ask for no background. I mean, I did a little bit though, because I would kind of know, oh, he over there and what's the name hood. I heard about him. That's background. For real. Would you say so or not?
Yeah, I definitely say so because I mean, even your street even your street credibility to a degree is background check.
Absolutely.
In the street because people want to know if they're a fraud, if they're fake, if they're a thief, if they're a liar. That's important. You got to know that when you're doing any kind of business.
So why shouldn't you know that when you do life or death business?
Facts.
Street business ain't more important than what we doing right now, what we going through. They shut down the NBA. So right now, all the NBA players is just like me and you.
And do you honestly think that they want to pay them NBA players for sitting at home?
They probably will. They gave a contract to them. But this virus neutralized everything. It made us all equal.
Yeah, it did.
When them doctors is inside them waiting rooms and they happen to decide who's going to live or die because they only have so many ventilators. And the doctor's going, eeny, meeny. Oh, that boy, a young one over there, maybe he is the one. Oh, this one is smart. Oh, this was a doctor that I work with. I mean, like, who want to be in that position?
That's a terrible position to be in.
But if we don't get our heads right, they opened up Georgia today.
Which was, and I'm in Atlanta, and that was a horrible move because it's too soon. It's way too soon, and people
So
are.
you know what that tells me to tell you? Stay your ass at home.
Exactly. Facts.
Do like you've been doing.
Yep.
When they tell me I can come out, I'm going to say, I went in before you told me to go in. I'm going to probably come out after you tell me I can come out.
Exactly.
Because I'm using my own science. You know what I'm saying? I'm using my science.
The fact.
And decide what moves I should be making. And my people should be making.